For people taking a walk or spending time outside with their families, this information is crucial. We actually met all of these little guys as we were out reporting on this story today. We have spent months making sure you are able to access where these registered dangerous dogs live, and this is something the public has been asking for.
There's nobody there to help us.
Betty Tarver tells us she's no stranger to aggressive dogs near her East Side home.
We can't walk in our neighborhood anymore.
But until she spoke with us, she had no idea some of those dogs were classified as dangerous. According to state law, to be considered dangerous, that means a dog made an unprovoked attack outside their enclosure or property and caused serious injury, or there's a reasonable belief that they could seriously injure someone if they got loose.
We have kids all up and down the block. And when they corner one of them, who's going to be there to take care of them? Nobody.
The city of San Antonio told me back in April that the addresses for dangerous dogs were confidential. They sent this letter to the Attorney General asking to withhold the information. But months later, the AG ruled in News 4's favor, ordering the city to tell us where these dogs live and how many are at each house. Transparency advocate Adam Andrzejewski says we scored a win for transparency and for your safety.
Taxpayers paid for the creation of that database. Taxpayers own that database. And now, thanks to your efforts, the community at large would be able to get to review what's in that database.
When we finally got the addresses, we plotted them all out on this map, revealing there are several neighborhoods in this city that have multiple dangerous dog registries.
Well, there should be some kind of notice that there's vicious dogs in a neighborhood. So yeah, I think they should find some kind of way, if not over the internet or something.
That's how the city of Austin does it. Their website has the names, addresses, even phone numbers of all the registered dangerous dogs and owners listed out for the public to see. But the city of San Antonio does not. Has San Antonio considered something like that?
There's questions as to the legality of me posting an individual's personal information, personally identifiable information publicly without a conviction.
Do you think the city is transparent enough about where all the dangerous dogs are in San Antonio?
I mean, everything is available via open records. We have explored some potential solutions similar to, child pedophilia and things like that, being able to have a website that shows where these dogs are.
Sim says the technology is likely available to keep an online database updated, but the legal questions are the holdup right now.
Why would the city ever want to protect the locations and identities of the vicious and dangerous dogs in the city?
Because we were able to get this information, we're posting it on our website for you and your family to see. But keep in mind, this registry can change day to day. Families might give up their dogs or a new registration might be filed. Our commitment to you is that we will keep this map updated, and if the city ever does decide to post this information, we'll let you know. For the News 4 I-Team, I'm Jordan Elder.
If you'd like to see where dangerous dogs are in San Antonio, like Jordan mentioned, just head to news4sa.com and you will find this story at the top of the page right now.
We created this map so that you could see if there were dangerous dogs in your neighborhood, and you might have noticed several of these addresses have more than one dangerous dog living there. As of November 1st, 2 homes had 3 dangerous dogs and several more had 2. When we noticed this trend, we took our questions to Animal Care Services. How is that something that is allowed to happen, where you have multiple in one home?
So state law does not regulate the number of dangerous dogs you're allowed to have. Now by city ordinance, we've restricted the number of animals that you can have without a permit to 5.
That means each address could have up to 5 dangerous dogs, according to city and state rules.
As long as those individuals remain in compliance with the dangerous dog statutes, there's really not a mechanism to remove those animals. They just have to stay into compliance.
That means the dogs have to wear a special collar, have a secure enclosure, and more. And the owners must get liability insurance, have a warning sign posted, and get annual inspections.
There's nothing in state law right now that allows me to petition the court system to say this individual should not own animals anymore. And that's something that I think that should be considered legislatively, much like with the cruelty laws.
The Texas Code of Criminal Procedure says if you're convicted of cruelty on livestock, a court can bar you from owning animals. Sims says this is something he's brought up to city leaders as they work on dangerous dog legislation. Animal Care Services told us they've discussed having an online resource for you to track where dangerous dogs are living, but they say there's legal questions surrounding what information they can put out there. Here's a look at how other Texas cities and counties have done it. We've shown you the city of Austin's method, listing out the dangerous dog owners, names, addresses, even phone numbers. Dallas does something similar, but they include photos of the dogs. Harris County has an interactive map you can use, and so does Fort Bend County. I reached out to all 10 of our city council members in San Antonio to ask if they'd support something like this for you to use. Leaders in District 3 and District 10 tell me they'd like to explore the idea.
It's just a matter of when we can get it done and how should we do it.
Councilman Mark White says the question of privacy has to be balanced with the need for public safety.
Right? You have kids walk into bus stops, walk into school, and parents and really all of our citizens need to know where these potentially dangerous animals are.
The I-Team's Jordan Elder has been following the dangerous dog situation in our city since the beginning, and thanks to her relentless reporting, the city has now launched its own map pinpointing dangerous dogs in our area.
This comes 3 weeks after the I-Team originally launched our resource for you to help find where dangerous dogs live. Since then, we've been pressing the city for answers about why they didn't have a resource like that as well. Today, they launched one.
It's got all of the addresses of the dangerous dogs.
The long-awaited Dangerous Dog Map hit computer screens on Friday. It comes 3 weeks after the I-Team released this map. The Attorney General ruled the city had to give us the addresses of dangerous dogs, and we turned them into a resource for you. Then we pressed the city on why they didn't have something like this. Animal Care Services told us there were privacy and legal concerns.
Because dangerous dog is not an actual animal conviction, it's not a criminal conviction, it was kind of deemed at the time that, we don't want to put somebody's information out there that hasn't had a criminal conviction in court.
But this was something you were asking for. People wanted this map to be aware of dangerous dogs and make decisions about their family's safety. After our map launched, News 4 got several messages like this.
When community is asking for something and it's a pretty compelling voice, then we have to do it as quickly as possible.
When we talked to leaders after our original story aired, they said a dangerous dog registry could take a while.
I would tell you that probably in the next 6 months.
The city map was actually released 2 weeks later.
Every day that we don't have these tools in place is another day another person could get hurt.
In their press release, ACS cited a recent Attorney General ruling that paved the way for this release. You might remember that the AG ruled in our favor earlier this year after the city denied our request for dangerous dog addresses.
That process of getting the approval through the Texas State AG is kind of the catalyst that allowed us to move forward with this.
Gotcha. Was it the request that we put in for the addresses?
It was. I can just say that it was a request that we had.
Okay.
Transparency advocate Adam Andrzejewski says that's a win.
Public records should be posted publicly. They shouldn't be hidden behind sunshine requests in a battle all the way to the Attorney General's office. This was good for transparency, and it is a win for News 4 I-Team journalism.
Now that the city has launched this map, Sims tells me they're going to keep expanding it.
What else are you hoping to do in the future?
One of the definite things that we want to do is pictures of the animals, because knowing that a dangerous dog lives on your block is one thing. Knowing what that animal looks like so you can identify it, that's much more impactful.
Sims and city council members acknowledge that this registry isn't the sole solution. They're hiring more ACS officers, increasing the number of dangerous dog investigators, and working to improve response times.
We need to make it as difficult as possible on the folks that have proven themselves to be irresponsible.
Here's why this matters. Officials say this may not stop dog attacks, but it will raise awareness. If you see a dog that's listed on this registry and it's not in compliance, you could call ACS, and the city is encouraging you to do that. Officials say this is a step toward owner accountability and public safety, and that many more steps are coming in the future. For the News 4 I-Team, I'm Jordan Elder.